All right, everyone. Welcome to this video where I go over the study guide. It's a good. Hopefully, you already attempted the study guide on your own, and you're just using this for review. That's where the learning happens, and you can kind of check your answers here. First question, just is what is a linear equation? A linear equation is a type of function that adds at a constant rate. I'm not going to write that whole other part, but really, you need to know it adds at a constant rate. I need to see if I can start recording these on my iPad where I can write neater. Yeah, linear functions add at a constant rate. All right. So they're changing by the same amount each time. So if you have like a table like this, right? 1, 2, 3. Y, say we were counting by 4, 8, 12. You can see we're changing by 4 every time. Every time we're moving at the same amount. But if you had a table like this, where you had like X and Y, 0, 1, 2, 3, and it was like 4, then 7, then 21, then 13. This is not changing by the same amount each time, right? First it goes up by 3, then it goes up by 14, then it goes down by 8. That's not a linear function. Linear functions add at a constant rate. And we model all linear functions with the equation y equals mx plus b, where b is the beginning and m is the constant rate of change. All right, let's look into this. Number 2, Jared is saving money to buy a skateboard. The equation S equals 40W plus 50 describes how much he saves each week, W. And to reach his goal of total savings, S, what does the 40 represent? So the 40 is right here in this equation, right? It's in the rate of change spot. So this means it's how much it's changing by. So we have 40W. We know this is about money, and the W represents weeks. So what this means, he gets $40 per week. Okay, he gets $40 per week. That's what that means there. All right, here we're going to create an equation to represent the table. Again, this is a linear equation because you can see it's changing by the same amount each time. So I'm going to use y equals mx plus b since it's linear. So to write a linear equation, we need to know m and b. We need to know m and b. M is equal to the change in y over the change in x. And so I'm looking into the y column. How much are we changing each time? 4, 8, 12, 16. We're changing by 4 each time. And in the x column, we're changing by 2 each time. And I can simplify a fraction. Fractionalize just using division. So this means 4 divided by 2 to 2. So m is 2. Now I need to find b. B is the value of y when x is 0. So when x is 0, y is 4. So b is 4. So now I know b is 4, m is 2. To get my final answer, I just plug these into the equation. Y equals 2x plus 4. All right, let's try the next one. Again, it's a linear equation. I'm going to do my work. This is for number 4. If you're paying attention, that'll be obvious. Y equals mx plus b. We need to know m and b. M, or the rate of change, is equal to the change in y over the change in x. That's a bad x. Okay. So how much is y changing by each time? Well, this time y is going down. So down by 6 will be represented with a negative 6. And x is changing by 3. So we get negative 6 over 3, which is negative 2. To find b is a little trickier this time. Got to count up and find out when x equals 0. So this is counting by 3s. I'm going to count back till I get to 0. I'm at 3, I count backwards 3. I'm at 0 after just one count back. And so to figure out what the y value is here, since this is going down by 6, to go in reverse, I need to go up by 6. 38 plus 6 is 44. And so when x is 0, y is 44, b is 44 here. And so our equation, I'll write our final equation in purple. If b is 44 and m is negative 2, I get y equals negative 2x plus 44. Okay, clear this out. Quickly, we're going to solve some equations. I have variables on both sides of this equation, which means I need to eliminate one of the variables. I cannot have a 10x and a 12x. So I'm going to get rid of this 10x. I'm going to subtract 10x from each side. Notice how I line up the variables. These cancel. I get 4 equals 12x minus 10x is 2x minus 4. So the first step is always to get rid of the smaller variable term, right? I see the biggest mistake I see is kids try to combine like terms. You can't combine like terms when they're on different side of the equation. All right. Now we just solve a two-step equation. Get rid of a minus 4, add 4. These cancel. I get 8 equals 2x. Divide each side by 2. X is 4. All right, let's try this next one. Maybe you would try this one on your own. We have 3v plus 10 equals 6v minus 5. Again, I can't have variables on both sides, so I'm going to get rid of this positive 3v with a negative 3v. These cancel. I get 10 equals 3v minus 5. And then I'm just going to solve from here. To get rid of a minus 5, we add 5 to each side. These cancel. Get 15 equals 3v. Divide each side by 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5, and b is equal to 5. Alrighty. 4 questions left. Trying to get to the football game, so maybe I'm going through this faster than I should. We want to graph these equations. Let me see if I can zoom in a little for these ones. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. It says, graph the equation y equals negative 1/3 x plus 6. You have to read this equation and know there are two parts. There's the m, which is negative 1/3, and b, which is 6. Okay. B tells me where to begin on the y-axis. It's the y-intercept. So I go to the y-axis, and I put my first point here on this 6. The negative 1/3, this is a fraction. That's the change in y over the change in x. So the change in y is that I need to go negative 1 on the y, so I go down 1. And then the change in x is 3, so I need to go over 3. So I go down 1 over 3. Down 1 over 3. All right, this is a constant rate of change, so I'm just doing this forever until I can connect these points to make a line. Okay. Same thing on the next one. I need m and b. M is 2. B is negative 6. I'm going to turn m into a fraction, 2 over 1, and so it's the change in y over the change in x. All right? So I'm going to begin at negative 6, and I'm going to go up 2 over 1. Up 2 on the y over 1. And, you only technically need 2 points for a line. Then I can make my line, okay? All right. Zoom back out a little bit. Finish this out. Okay. What are two stories? Write two stories that model the equation. I'm not going to write for these. I'm only going to speak it. This story begins at positive 10 and it has a constant rate of change of negative 2. So I need to think of anything that starts at 10 is going down by 2 since it's a negative 2. Here are some examples. Mr. Golden has $10. He loses $2 per day. Mr. Golden is 10 feet in the air. He goes down 2 feet every minute. Daytwan has 10 pairs of shoes. He loses 10 shoes per day. All right, something like that. So hopefully you really get it. Begins at 10, constant rate of change of -2. Last one, if the coordinate plane, line A has a slope of -1 and passes through the point 3, 5, what is the equation that models the line? So we know this is a linear function. We're going to use y equals mx plus b. We need to find m and b to write an equation. It tells us the slope, m, is -1 right here. The slope is -1, so I don't have to do any work to find m. We just need to find b. To do that, I'm going to plug my points into this equation, right? This is x, and this is y. So I'm going to plug in a 5 to y, a -1 to m, a 3 to x, and then I'm going to solve for b. -1 times 3 is -3. 5 equals -3 plus b. Add 3 to each side. B is equal to 8. If b is 8, m is -1. And I just take these and I plug them into my equation. Y equals -1x plus 8. That's the final answer. All right, sorry this was a pretty quick video. I'm trying to rush to get to the game. Let us know if you have any questions.